Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
The views and opinions.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punching? I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him actually, he was crying there. You were saying that Gibbs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time.
Absolutely,
I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
Beyonce Productions.
Making woman gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ. It's the champ. Keep shaking the champ. With the fake champ. With Let's go. ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio, hashtag TBV podcast. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NesGTO. Today we're going to be talking a lot of boxing. Definitely have a lot to talk about. Manny Pacquiao is back, and he's going to be getting it on live on ESPN. They're saying this is a big deal for boxing in terms of the deal with ESPN. And Manny Pacquiao being on there, they're going to be doing some fancy smancy stuff tomorrow with Manny Pacquiao on First Take. And we'll check that out. ESPN seems to be pulling all the stops in promoting the fight with Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn. TBV live in Australia and Brisbane for this fight. We have plenty of coverage on our channel here on ThaBoxingVoice.com/videos with Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao from our Australian correspondent, Mickey Caparelli. Also, we got to talk a little Conor McGregor staying in the boxing news by saying that he's bringing on Paulie Malignaggi in the sparring, and Malignaggi confirming. So we definitely got to throw that one around with the co-hosts and as well as our listeners that range internationally. Don't forget that number, 14255695241. Press 1 just one time. You want to speak to the host. International callers, add Nestor Gibbs on Skype, and we got to take it out to the international level here across the pond. Tony Bellew calling out Andre Ward. Andre Ward definitely wants a piece of Bellew. Eddie Hearn's dropping some quotes for us, so we're going to talk about that one as well. And staying in the UK, Kell Brook's making his comeback in December, but he's eyeing something with Miguel Cotto in 2018. That was a fight that we kicked around here on the show on a previous episode, and it was something that the fight fans seemed to like. Plus, we got a lot of hardcore boxing, right? We got Robert Easter Jr. making a defense of his IBF strap versus Dennis Shacklecoff, and there's some other boxing out there. I know Golden Boy has something going on that we're going to discuss as well. Let me head on out to the Golden State, get to my co-host, the Hipster.
Beyonce Productions.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, the hipsters here. Haters beware. We got Manny Pacquiao, the second best of his generation, fighting this weekend on ESPN. That's insane of itself, regardless of what the fight and the matchup is. We got Tony Bellew calling out Andre Ward. Now it's seeming more and more likely that Andre Ward is moving up at least at one division and fighting someone in a higher weight class than him for some sort of glory. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Obviously, other news, regardless of the topics we have right there, the other headlines that we have: Robert Easter Jr. fighting this weekend, Alexander Povetkin's fighting this weekend. Tons of news to get to. Obviously, the undercard of the Adrian Broner Mikey Garcia fight was announced. We're going to address that, get into that, because it was a great card. Seems that one undercard fight that was rumored to be on that card was bumped. I want to know, where that fight went. So tons of topics to get into. Can't wait to chop it up.
Definitely, man. A lot to talk about. You brought up Manny Pacquiao, living legend. Definitely in this game for a long time, coming in around maybe 70 fights, Matt. That is a long,
that's throwback
career, to say the least. None of us were really excited about this fight, but as all fights get closer, you start to get just a little bit more invested, especially hardcore fans like myself that don't watch, I don't know what's going on now these days in the other sports, baseball, basketball, what's happening now, whatever these
Basketball's
guys are.
over. Baseball's just starting.
Well, there you go.
Basketball just had the draft. That was big.
So
Lonzo Ball, go Lakers.
See, so none of that entertains me. I don't even know any of that is happening. So Pacquiao fighting a guy named Jeff Horn on ESPN where I don't have to pay. I'm not that upset anymore since the fight is going to happen in a few days. What I will say is there was an interesting article on Boxing Scene about Pacquiao getting older, but no one's proved it yet. And I thought to myself, this is something we say on the Boxing Voice a lot. It's like these fighters that we feel are over the hill, which I don't think that Pacquiao is, obviously, with his 2016 resume with Bradley and Jesse Vargas, pretty much 2 top 10 fighters in whatever sanctioning body is your favorite. So I don't think that he's been acting like an over the hill fighter, but you get some that think that he's not in his prime anymore.
Absolutely. I think that's true. You can still be out of your prime, but still be elite. I feel like that's a misconception for a lot of fans. When they hear the guy's out of his prime, they automatically assume he's washed up. And those are two very different words in different terms with different connotations. Right?
Absolutely.
Like I would say Triple G is out of his prime, but he's still absolutely elite and the best middleweight on earth.
Well, I wouldn't know. I don't know if he's out of his prime.
Vladimir Klitschko's past his prime, but he's still a top 2, top 3 heavyweight in the world.
I don't know. But the interesting thing about this fight is, we boxing fans were fickle, right? And it's hard to please us because for Triple G, Canelo, we're upset, right? What's the main thing we're upset about, Matt?
With the Triple G Canelo fight?
Yes. The main thing fight fans are upset
we have to pay for the Mayweather McGregor fight 2 weeks before. Was that the main?
No.
But that it happened this late? That it didn't happen after Canelo beat Cotto?
That it's in Vegas in a small arena that fight fans can't get to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, didn't they want it in Dallas? Everybody thought they wanted it in Dallas. That's all you hear is no one's excited that it's in Vegas, right?
But let's be honest, fight fans are so just beat down to assume we get the worst of things that when it was announced it was Vegas, were any of us surprised?
It's not about.
It didn't come to mind because it didn't surprise me.
It's not about being surprised. I'm trying to bring it back. Just follow with me here because it's all about Pacquiao, right? And how fickle we are as fight fans and the things that we demand. So for a super fight like Canelo versus Triple G, we wanted it in the stadium.
Yeah.
We wanted, for Mayweather Canelo, for Mayweather Pacquiao, we wanted it in the stadium so that the true fight fan could be there and enjoy the fight. So you can't really fault Pacquiao here. No, this is not a fight that we are clamoring for, but he's creating a new market. Dude, there's over 55,000 tickets sold, and they've opened up 5,000 more to try and get to that 60,000. That's insane.
Well,
and look, does Horn have a shot? I don't think so. But, this is boxing, Matt. But if Pacquiao puts on a great performance, maybe he goes back over there. It doesn't matter who's the opponent. Maybe another Jesse Vargas type of opponent goes to Bisbee because it's still 60,000 seats, no?
True. And I don't think it's necessarily opened up the market. combat sports has been big in Australia for a while. Ronda Rousey filled out 55,000, 60,000 seat stadium a couple years ago. It's been a market that combat sports has been going to.
You're talking about MMA, bro. We're talking about.
But you said the market. I'm just addressing the market thing. That Aram noticed that.
The MMA guys.
You don't think Aram noticed that and said, "Wow, Australia loves combat sports. They never get even mid-tier boxing."
Don't forget you're on a boxing. You keep saying combat. Look, we're a boxing podcast here. I don't know what you're
understanding my point here at all.
No, I understand that Bob Arum said there's a boxing market. I don't know about a combat sports market. I'm not sure that he's looking into MMA is all I'm saying.
I'm saying you look at all analytics of the industry as a whole.
All right.
I'm just saying, let's just be honest about what they look at.
Being honest, Top Rank was the last one to get social media for their company. I'm just saying.
That's great. Looking at Tyler Buff has been doing a great job.
Analytics, you know.
Tyler Buff has been doing a great job with Top Rank, so I assume they've been improving their analytics research. Anyways, I assume Bob Arum saw that there is this market that wants fights, and throwing Pacquiao, the second biggest name in combat sports in the last 20 years. Makes perfect sense. I think it selling this much makes sense. I think it being on ESPN and sort of seeming like a big fight now, even though we kind of shitted on the matchup, makes a lot of sense. You know, I think when I compare this fight to like Mayweather Berto, for example, even though Berto is I think a higher level than Horn, I remember the talk was that there was going to be a rumor that Mayweather Berto was going to be on CBS. I remember listening to on this show, you know, before I was a host. And fans, listeners, panelists were saying that they were more accepting of the fight if it was on CBS.
Of course.
And I feel like the same thing has happened here. Like, we are more accepting of this fight now that it is on ESPN. The chance for casuals to see the likes of Pacquiao before he retires on, you know, quote unquote free television is awesome. It is, regardless of the matchup. I think that's 100% true.
Listen, I would love for Manny Pacquiao to do what he does over here in Brisbane and then say, you know, look, I want to unify the titles with Keith Thurman in the same arena. Keith fits the bill, man. He could go over there and do it. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, but, 55,000, 60,000 people, that sounds like something you want to, keep trying to do every time out, right? Like, I mean, obviously, ticket prices matter, and it would be interesting to get the cost of those tickets, because what would be the difference between not the difference, but yeah, I guess it is the difference between that and something like an MGM or one of these hotels. They pony up a lot more. Let's get into our next topic here, man. Conor McGregor reached out to Paulie Malignaggi and gave him a phone call. And this is all coming from Paulie Malignaggi. He said this on his From Brooklyn to the World podcast, where he said that he did get a call to go into camp with Conor. I was surprised. I haven't really been training. I haven't been in the gym, so I started working out a little bit. I'm working out the details to spar with McGregor. Now, I'm going to stop there. There's more to this, but I want to say that's pretty dope. Everybody tried to get the Conor fight. Let's be honest.
Even Paulie.
No, of course, Paulie for sure.
Paulie was very vocal in the media about it.
Many fighters were saying, "Hey, Conor, I'll fight you. I'll fight you. I'll introduce you to boxing." Everybody, really. But can you think of someone outside of Floyd, who obviously never called out Conor, but outside of Floyd, what was the next popular boxer that, tried to get the fight, let's say?
I remember Bob Arum talking about Pacquiao. I don't know if but like that was very brief. Like, Paulie was in it constantly. There was multiple headlines for multiple days, maybe even for multiple weeks, about Paulie shit talking on McGregor and so forth. So I think that may have seemed bigger, to be honest.
Now, why this is interesting to me, because, Paulie, like you said, was very aggressive on social media about, McGregor and
dismissive, very dismissive of McGregor.
About boxing his ears off, or excuse me, boxing his beard off.
That a club fighter would knock him out, stuff like that. Yeah.
So it's fucking badass that McGregor chose Paulie to spar. So it's like, all right, Mr. Big Mouth, you'll be the guy to tell the world if I'm ready or not ready. Doesn't really mean that Paulie can tell the world truly if he's ready, but it is still intriguing. The funny thing is, it's a few. McGregor's camp promised to secure several sparring partners that the fans would be very familiar with. So we obviously know Malignaggi, and Malignaggi's a pretty big fish. This is no Chris Van Heerden here, and
Paulie's a former champ.
Again, what does Malignaggi teach McGregor in sparring? I don't know. Outside of experience, a lot of wisdom, there's this, you can just, if you could open Paulie's mind and dive in his brain and just soak in.
Paulie does have one of the best minds of the sport. That is 100% true.
Absolutely. I always told him that he should be a trainer, I
bet he's making more money commentating though.
Obviously. But so this is just an interesting headline for our listeners. I think this is interesting. I'd be very, very happy to see some sparring footage.
Oh yeah, we all would love that footage.
That would be dope. Paulie is a betting man, so I'm interested after this little sparring session takes place. What does he end up doing? Does he place a bet? He's very again vocal on social media with his bets. He's shown pictures of his receipts for bets that he's placed on other matches. So it'd be interesting to see, what does Paulie Malignaggi do after he actually spars Conor McGregor? Where does his money go? But I've been getting calls and messages asking me, do I know why this fight is happening at 54? Outside of Mayweather just,
not caring,
being very willing
confident
to get this done because of, the fact that, hey, look, in Mayweather's eyes, this guy's never, ever, ever, ever been in a boxing ring. There's no way. We're talking about a guy that's a valedictorian with a preschooler. So maybe that's why Mayweather said 154. But have you read anything on your MMA side of why this fight is at 54? I know Mayweather's been out of the ring for like 18, 24 months, and maybe that can be it. Maybe he doesn't feel like getting all the way down. And maybe in his mind he's saying, why the fuck do I need to suck down to 147 for a dude that's never fought before?
One thing that's become very obvious very quickly is how tight-lipped everyone is on both camps. About the contract, about why there are stipulations, what are these stipulations, that there seem to be multiple gag orders and stuff of that nature about the contract and the nature of the contract. So I'm just assuming that I don't know. I don't know what to assume. I think that we just don't know. I have no idea what is in this contract. I have no idea how this fight got made. I assume that Mayweather just doesn't care. I assume that Mayweather just assumes, like you said, that this guy's a preschooler in terms of boxing skill and experience. So I can just go to 154 and fight him. If it expedites this negotiation period so we can get the fight planned before Canelo Triple G, because remember, that happened. When Canelo Triple G got announced, that changed a lot of the negotiations. That's one thing I did hear from the MMA side and from really good, credible reporters such as Luke Thomas, that there was this sort of stalling of the negotiating period between both camps. Then Canelo Triple G got announced for that Mexican Independence Day weekend. So therefore, that jumped the negotiating period into hyperdrive in a sense.
I'm just so shocked that they let that date slip. It felt like they knew they were going to do this for a while. I don't know why not secure the MGM and go on your normal date. But let me finish this quote here from Malignaggi, and I quote, "There's a lot of curiosity I have. I know he's an ultra electric competitor, and I've seen him fight in the UFC. Obviously, and I think he's very talented. I'm curious to see just the kind of progress he's made. I did call him out, and I think it shows character of the man. He could have said, screw that kid. He called me out. I'm not going to put him in my training camp. I think it shows the competitive spirit and willingness to want to learn on the part of McGregor. It shows you how hungry he is because he put his pride aside, and it's not easy to put pride aside, especially when you're a fighter. It makes me respect him a little more. So in closing, what do you think of Malignaggi's newfound respect of Conor McGregor, or is he just looking for a check?
Look, me and Paulie have had a public feud, so I'm gonna keep it very.
Up this Paulie thing. I bet you Paulie doesn't remember it.
I'm just being honest. I mean, me and Paulie used to follow each other. Now we don't. I think Paulie.
FYI, I don't want him to remember it. I want him to meet you one day.
I love Paulie. And I've showed so much respect for Paulie. I think Paulie is the best analytical mind and commentator we have ever had, possibly. But anyways, digressing. I think Paulie recognizes that this is a huge opportunity for him. Having your name connected with McGregor or Mayweather or connected with this fight in any way is big. It's going to up his brand in a way. So, yeah, he probably sees dollar signs in a way. I don't know if McGregor's paying him a lot to be a sparring partner or come to Dublin or whatever the situation is. But I assume that the star power of this fight, the magnitude of this fight, anyone wants to be associated with it.
Well, Mr. Hunter. Interesting news. I really like the fact that Malignaggi and McGregor are doing this. It's pretty cool. You know what else is cool? Our next piece of information. Funny, it was topic number 3, huh? Popularity. But I think this particular fight can help one said individual probably cross over. For both men, it's pretty much the right thing. I don't know. I question how good of an idea it is for Tony Bellew, but he's such a brave guy. After the Ward Kovalev fight, too, he contacted Eddie Hearn. He said that he wants that fight. And you know what? Maybe in his eyes, he doesn't think it's as dangerous, right? Obviously, looking at the side-by-side picture of the two, Bellew has some size on him significantly. Plus, he moved up to heavyweight to face Hay, so he'll be big. I'm sure they would have to meet at catchweight, and the two guys I'm talking about is Andre Ward and Tony Bellew. And the reason that we're even speaking about this is because it's becoming more and more possible. Eddie Hearn has already been in conversations with James Prince, the manager of Andre Ward. Andre Ward is tweeting out that he misses the UK. You know, Tony Bellew's calling out Andre Ward on the social media. But there are some pretty interesting quotes here and a couple of articles that the internet has kind of jumped on today. This topic is hot, Matt. How do you like this matchup now that it's more than just a post-fight call-out on HBO?
I still hate the matchup.
Why exactly?
I think Andre Ward has no business moving up to cruiserweight or heavyweight. I don't think he's built for it, to be completely honest. I think Tony Bellew is looking for money fights, and I think some sort of order needs to be reestablished. Either drop the Emeritus belt, move to heavyweight, whatever you're doing. I don't know. I'm just over it in a sense, and I don't know if this is necessarily the fight to get Andre Ward over. Is Tony Bellew the guy? I mean, Tony Bellew may be the most beatable guy in the heavyweight division at the top, but he's definitely not the guy to put you over in America. You know, he'll get you big in the UK 100% if you beat him. But is Tony Bellew well known in America? I mean, is Tony Bellew the type of guy that to get you over, to get you in the topic box on our show above McGregor? I don't know if Tony Bellew is that guy.
But why has it got to be in America? I think Bellew's that guy.
No, I'm not saying it has to be in America, but you use the term to get Andre Ward over. Is Tony Bellew that guy?
I think that you invest in that UK market, yeah, man. Especially if you're taking this fight at cruiserweight, man.
But does Tony Bellew's UK market value translate to American viewers' recognition or
I think so.
You do?
I'll tell you why. He was before your time, but Winky Wright established his career in the UK, and just look it up. He didn't get any big fights till the end of his career, really, is when he got to get some Paul Williams and some freaking, De La Hoya, and I think he fought Mosley, right? He fought a few people, but it was late, he had to go overseas a lot. And the market's there anyway. And now with this what is it called? World Boxing Series, they got a couple of cruiserweights with titles, bro. Like this can flip.
And that's a bad move. If I'm Andre Ward, you're not going to make it through that cruiserweight tournament.
You don't want to go to the tournament. See, you don't want to go. He learned his lesson from Lucien Boutte. Ward went through the Super 6 while Boutte stood on the outside and fucking he rode Ward's shirt tails. Every time Ward got a win, it was like, oh, the only other super middleweight out there that looks like he could beat him is Lucien Boutte, but he's outside the tournament. And then they were supposed to fight. Ward didn't take the fight. Carl Froch capitalized off the Boutte hype, and that blew Carl Froch up. So now Ward could play that role. Ward could stay on the outside, fight the named cruiserweight, and I'm using air quotes, right? Who's the name? The name cruiserweight is Tony Bellew. Mm-hmm. He's the money man in that division. Not Huck, not Britis, not fucking I don't even know who else is there, bro. Get out of here. It's Bellew. So that's what you got to do. You got to go for Bellew and sit on the outside. Let those three, because look, oh yeah, the other one is Murat Ghazi. Imagine Ward fighting those guys. Come on, man. Let those guys kill each other, make one, and then Ward beats up or loses to Bellew, and they meet. That sounds good.
Now, very quickly,
you're already talking, Matt. So even if you don't like it, this is what you're gonna get.
I know. I'll be honest. I sort of accept that this is what is going to happen. Anyways, do you think that Tony Bellew is a more dangerous fight than Adonis Stevenson?
Come again? You said, is Tony Bellew a more dangerous fighter than what?
A dangerous fight than Adonis Stevenson.
Is he more of a dangerous fight than Adonis Stevenson? That's very difficult to say because you'll probably get some short-minded people that will argue and say, hell no, Adonis knocked out Tony Bellew. Yeah, he did. A long time ago at probably 60 or 68.
68. No, 75. It was always 75.
I don't know. Remember Adonis went up.
No, that was 75.
The point is, you just don't know. Bellew has grown in confidence with his wins. He's done some miraculous things since then. I don't know what's more dangerous. He's a heavyweight right now. I mean, the obvious answer would say he's a heavyweight. He should be more dangerous, but Adonis is the power puncher. The more significant fight, obviously, would be Adonis in the immediate. But remember, if we go with the way that Ward is been doing things, if we could get like a Bellew interim into one of those three champions or that defining champion that comes out of that tournament, because remember, there's 3 titles over there, bro, or 4. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of belts over there in that that World Boxing Super Series. So I don't know. I mean, look, we're only talking about it because they've actually picked up the phone and called each other. I mean, you want me to give you the quotes or
no, I believe it. I believe it absolutely.
I'll give you some quick Eddie Hearns quotes. I spoke to Andre Ward's team last night, James Prince and Josh Dublin, just talking about various things in boxing. Hearns exclusively told Sky Sports, Andre Ward has got a big interest in fighting Tony Bellew. That was the first phone call I got after the Ward-Kovalev fight was Tony Bellew saying, let me fight him. I'll bash him up. We'll look at that fight. So then obviously Ward treated out, hey, I missed the UK. Listen, remember, these two got a little story from the Adonis Creed fight. There's a storyline, Matt. Stop being such a fucking hater, man. Glass half full.
Storyline. What do you mean a storyline? It's a fake one. It's one from a movie. You can't say it's a storyline. Like they
glass half full, man. Glass half full.
I'd rather him fight Adonis Stevenson. Or you know what? I'll even take the winner of Joe Smith and Solomon Barrera. I'll even take that.
Yeah, you're a hipster, bro. Let's move on then. You guys got the details. You call in. You know the number 1-425-569-5241. Let us know your opinion on Ward and Bellew. Looking like they're in some, what would you call that? Very light negotiations. Just conversations.
Preliminary negotiations.
Conversations. Speaking of conversations, Kell Brook having some talks with certain people that put his name in the headlines, saying that he's coming back in December. He's looking at Miguel Cotto. Can Kell Brook look at Miguel Cotto or be looking at Miguel Cotto?
And just very quickly, just to make it clear, he's looking for a December fight, and then after that, in 2018,
Miguel Cotto. I know, but what I'm saying is he the A side here? I mean, I know he's the A side. Actually, he can put together an offer. Obviously, in the UK, he can obviously tell Cotto, look, come over here. This is how much we'll give you. This is what we're projecting in pay-per-view numbers. You can get, obviously, the U.S. TV rights. I mean, I'm sure they'll put together a nice little package for him. So maybe he is the A side, or is it a thing of A and B side? Is this just a thing where Kell Brook is a market now, some sort of a franchise, and he can submit an offer to Miguel? If it's enticing enough, Cotto will come to the UK and do that fight at 54. What do you think?
Yes, I think Kell Brook is big enough as a star, especially in the UK market, to at least offer up some sort of package for Miguel Cotto. And look, hey, we have a fight over here. This is the amount, and it'll probably be a decent amount, more than any other fight he can probably get, more than the Kama guy fight, for example. So I think Kell Brook and Miguel Cotto is a very likely fight to happen if they are honestly negotiating. But Miguel Cotto, to me, has always been a guy that doesn't really negotiate. Like, he'll be in the headlines with people, but it's not actual negotiations. That's my take on it. So until this seems to get more real, until we start getting some more feedback from Miguel Cotto's side, and plus Golden Boy, because remember, now Golden Boy is at play with Miguel Cotto's career. So it'd be interesting to hear what Oscar has to say back to Eddie Hearn and Kell Brook's side. That'd be somebody that I would like to question and see what his take on it is.
Very true. I mean,
I like the fight. I'll be honest. I like the fight. If it's at 154, I love it.
You said it best, though. Miguel Cotto has a lot of headline negotiations, but nothing ever solid. The things we end up getting are Gills and Kama guys
or one-line quotes in an interview, not real negotiations. No unnamed sources confirming that both sides are negotiating. No, nothing like that. We rarely see that.
Which is sad, man. Cotto, I mean, he says he's got 3 more, man. That was one quote I seen whenever I seen it. He said he's got 3 more. Let's see if he can produce it. You know, Golden Boy picked him up. They'll find some guys to put him in with, I'm sure, that they'll both be comfortable with, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's see what's on the schedule, brother. What's on tap for this week? What are we telling our listeners they need to be watching?
The fight of the year, possibly. Robert Easter Jr. versus Denis Shafikov.
Fight of the year.
On good old Bounce TV.
Woo! Non-HD, baby.
Yeah.
Yo, I gotta fix that. I'm saying that right now. Look, I despise. It boils my skin. Okay, if I could turn to the right and smack someone every time there was an HD, that's what I would do.
Like 720 pisses you off. Like, you need 1080.
720 does bother me, for real.
Like, you need 1080. Like, I've noticed that.
Yes, I do. Like 720 is like, what, man? Keep looking. Fuck that bullshit. But coming to you not on 720 but 1080p, baby. Oscar Negrete. I think it's time we start watching this kid. He keeps winning. He's signed with Golden Boy. He's been doing his thing for some time now. He's in the bantamweight division. And like I said, he keeps winning.
It's a division that's very top heavy. So there's room to really become a player in that division very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So if he gets the right matchups, he could easily be fighting a guy like Yamanaka very soon, Louis Neri very soon, those guys.
And on the undercard, this isn't Hardcore's card, all right?
Very quickly, we just like mentioned Easter Shafikov. That's the best fight of the weekend. That's the best fight of the weekend,
brother. We're going down the line.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
You know,
we're gonna come back to that.
Yeah, of course we are. Well, that's the big fight of the weekend.
It is.
But first is June 30th, right? And we're talking ESPN, which is the bigger network, and then we'll get to Bounce TV, which is the next one, right? But this is the Golden Boy card. I just wanted to be fair, right? Golden Boy has this ESPN deal, and they're getting these kids. This is some good fucking exposure right now, especially for Ryan Martin, lightweight. It's going to be a 10-round. He's taking on Marcus Jimenez and Lamont Rhodes Jr. You know, he won some sort of regional title last time I seen him out, and he just keeps piling on the wins. He's got a great left hook, this kid, and very disciplined. So he's from that DMV area. He's 13-0, but he doesn't have that power. But he's winning these fights on you know, obviously boxing. He's got only a 38% KO ratio, but again, he's going to be on ESPN. And yeah, it's time to start looking at these guys, right? On the undercard, you got some other notable names like Keandre Gibson and Damian Allen also on there, right? So then obviously we're going to get to the Hipsters fight. Matt, you want to take lead on this one?
Of course, man. First off, Robert Easter Jr., one of, if not the best lightweight on the planet. He could possibly go out there and beat guys like Jorge Linares, Terry Flanagan, and even a Mikey Garcia right now. He could be that guy that beats all those people in that division and moves up to 140 and challenges Terrence Crawford. That would be awesome. He could be that sort of talent. I think Shafikov is a great test of that. Shafikov just beat Richard Comey in a very close, controversial fight. Richard Comey obviously was also in a close, controversial fight with Robert Easter Jr. That was a fight of the year contender. Dan Shafikov arguably beat Rances Bartholomew in a fight as well, even though Rances Bartholomew was gifted that decision, in my opinion. So Dan Shafikov has been sort of that unknown guy at 135, moonlighting around and fighting everyone and putting on great fights. I compare him to Ruslan Provodnikov, a guy of that ilk, maybe with a little more technique like a Peter Petrov, but he's a bruiser. He's going to come forward and work your body for all 12 rounds. He has an amazing chin. This is going to be a really great test of Robert Easter's sense of distance management, rhythm manipulation, whether his jab is that good at setting the distance. I can't wait to see that in play. And also, if Dan Shafikov can get Robert Easter to brawl a bit, because Richard Comey was able to do that at times. And if Dan Shafikov can turn this fight into a brawl, then it becomes a 50-50 fight entirely. Maybe even a 60-40 towards Dan Shafikov, because he is so great on the inside. I think this is probably one of the most underrated fights of the year, hands down. And I can't wait to watch it, even though it's on Bounce TV in a standard definition. Shout out to you, Bounce TV.
On the undercard, Matt, can't forget the return of Julian Williams.
J-Rock.
I know. Yeah, I was about to get super excited on first sight. I was going to get excited. I could have sworn I seen on Toe to Toe Tuesdays that they changed the name of his opponent, but on the schedule, they got him down versus Joshua Conley.
Yes.
That might be correct. But when I looked at it very quickly, I said, oh,
Michael Conley.
No, I thought it was Joshua Clottey. I'm like, wow, that's a good comeback fight.
It'd be a notable name. I don't know if it's necessarily like the best skilled fight at this point.
I think I'd still be more interested in Clottey than
I would be more interested in absolutely 100%. But J-Rock's an interesting case because he really fought almost no names going into the Jamal Charlo fight, and he lost pretty devastating fashion in that fight. So now he's fighting a no name, in my opinion, again. It's gonna be interesting to see how he rebounds, how he bounces back.
You say no name like that because you got to remember he's coming off a knockout loss, and you're entitled to a. You know,
I'm not saying I'm not.
What do you call those, man? What do you call a fight like a tune up? Listen, let's cut this one short. We're gonna go back to the Manny Pacquiao, Jeff Horn.
I didn't give my pick on Easter very quickly.
Matt,
I didn't give my pick on Easter. I'm just gonna say I pick Easter by unanimous decision. That's all.
Oh, I just answered the wrong phone. I thought that was sorry. Go ahead. Give your pick. I'm waiting for actually our correspondent Mickey, so he could give us some live info over there on the whole Pacquiao horn thing. I thought I got a call on Skype. I thought that was him, but that was actually the legend himself, Robert Ortiz. So you're saying you're picking Easter?
Yeah, I'm picking Easter by unanimous decision. Maybe.
Oh my God, Matt! Oh my God, I can't believe it. You're picking Easter. He stopped the show dead air for that. We all knew you were picking Easter. You've been picking Easter since
Forever.
I know. Like, what the fuck? You and I both, though. I don't get any credit. I've been talking about this dude since even before 11-0, man.
I've been hyping him up for way longer than you.
I've been interviewing him since like 2012, you know, when no one even knew he was an Olympian, right? Because everyone else went to the Olympics. He was an alternate. No, he didn't get that shine. So the big one is July 1st, ladies and gentlemen. Also on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. Don't forget to set your DVRs if you're going to be away. Manny Pacquiao taking on Jeff Horn. Feels different, this one. I hope that it's going to be – actually, it is going to be different because Matty Boy will be here. Matt, it's going to be our first fight party. Oh, my God.
Yes. Oh, my God. I cannot wait.
Do it East Coast style, baby.
Dude, and think about it. We have this on ESPN.
Fight parties ain't got nothing on us over here. You'll see.
That's probably
you don't even know what Blaze Pizza is. I'm going to fucking break the diet because Kramer's garbage. I'm going to break Kramer, so I'm going to break the diet. We're going to have some Blaze fucking pizza and fucking what is that? Super glue. So we're good. Listen, we actually got Mickey Caparelli. Mickey, I know you're on that glue too. How's it going over there in Brisbane, man? Are you enjoying the Manny Pacquiao festivities over there, man? It's got to be different to have such a big name in your neck of the woods.
Man, there is a massive buzz for this fight here. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest. There's like posters all over the city. Coming from the airport, you know, the cab driver was listening to the radio, the local radio was interviewing Bob Arum. There's just, you can't miss it. Everywhere you go, there's people talking about it. And it's just great exposure for the city, man. I mean, everyone's, you know, going to be focusing on Brisbane on Sunday, and something like 10 million people in the US are expected. They're saying it's the biggest viewership since Ali Spinks. So, yeah, man, it's good times for Australian boxing fans.
So, Mick, tell me, bro, I seen my man Kevin Barry out there. So who's he got? Because he's usually got some pretty good prospects, or does he have some sort of ties with Horn? What's going on? What's Barry doing out there? Kevin Barry, ladies and gentlemen, is actually the trainer and manager of Joseph Parker, the heavyweight from New Zealand that trains out of Las Vegas and obviously is out there in Australia for the festivities as well. And on the line, we have Mickey Caparelli, our Australian correspondent. Talk to us, Mick.
Yeah, so at the open workout yesterday, he's got some – obviously he's got ties with Duco and, you know, and Joseph Parker. You know, they're all got signed to Duco, so he's here, you know, throwing his support. Joseph Parker's going to be at the fight as well. Colonel Bob Sheridan, who commentates all of Joseph Parker's fights, is going to be here as well. I think because I it was a last-minute thing, but I think he's got like some journeyman fighter he's training that is going to be on the undercard, but I don't know if it's going to be televised in the US. I don't even know if the full undercards are going to be televised here in Australia, to be honest. The details are a bit sketchy on that one. But yeah, I was surprised to see him myself. I wasn't expecting him to be there at the open workout. When I saw him, I was like, damn.
Mickey, are the Australian fans going for Jeff Horn and just being blind?
Look, the way they're selling this fight, and they've been very good at selling this fight, is that Jeff Horn has a puncher's chance in there. They've been constantly talking about that Marquez overhand right, and so has Jeff Horn. So they've been very good at selling this as a competitive fight. There's a lot of casuals that come up to me, oh, does Jeff have a chance, this, that, and the other. So it's definitely getting a lot of casuals talking about boxing again. You know, because, look, let's be real. A lot of people didn't know who, like, in terms of casuals, a lot of people didn't know who Jeff Horn was, and this has been, you know, incredible exposure for him. So there are a lot of people that want Jeff to win, but look, the main reason the 60,000 seats have been sold is because of Manny Pacquiao. People love Manny Pacquiao over here. There's a big Filipino fan base here, and yeah, so that was a big part of it too.
Well, Mick, man, thanks, bro. I know it's early over there and you got to get to do a bunch of stuff. Want to thank you, obviously, for the coverage, man. Hopefully you get some exclusive and you enjoy it. I mean, damn, this doesn't happen often, man. Make sure you get a panoramic shot of that 55, 60,000, man, out there, man. That's gonna have to be insane. I'm sure he's gonna cut together your own little version like you did all the other guys, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I'll be getting a combination of photos and video as well. So, plus today at the VIP launch, going to get some footage there as well. Hopefully can squeeze in an interview or two. So, yeah, just keep an eye out.
Well, Mick, man, let me get to some callers. Listen, we're actually going to do that, Matt. We've gotten to all our topics, obviously.
There's other topics we can get to.
Really?
Yes.
You're digging deep. What you got?
The Adrian Broner, Mikey Garcia undercard announcement.
Oh, this is the place to do that. How did that end up? You killed me. That should have been one of the boxes. Wow. No, we definitely listen. You know what?
We had a ton of news to cover this week. It was a big week in boxing.
Yeah, very big. Listen, I mean, look, it's not like I really don't understand this and that individual, but whatever. I'm speaking in riddles here. Riddle me this. Who was I talking about? Jamal Charlo is going to be taking on George Sebastian Hyland. Something you and I discussed on here months ago, even though we're always...
Is it George or Jorge?
Jorge, George, whatever. It's going to be knocked out Hyland.
Probably. Yeah, I almost guarantee it.
We talked about this months ago, even though we always get it wrong, allegedly. And it's happening, Matt. This is a good fight because this makes him the mandatory for the WBC champion, whether that be Gennady Golovkin or Saul Canelo Alvarez, which either way, Jamal versus either of those guys is a fucking banger fight, I think. So that has been added to the Broner Garcia. Adrian Broner versus Mikey Garcia, July 29th, Brooklyn Barclays Center card.
Perfect place and perfect card for a Charlo fight.
Well, it gets even more perfect.
Yes.
The always talking.
The marketable.
389-pound.
Behemoth.
Gigantor heavyweight of the division.
Coming at Wilder.
Baby Miller has been added to the card, and he's going to be taking on former Deontay Wilder.
Interesting.
Foe, victim, opponent, call it barometer face.
Setting up a future fight, maybe.
Is this a way for Showtime to build? You know what I got to, instead of building this one up, let me say, bring out the fucking, let me get the buzzer, first of all, Showtime. Call you Showtime drop the ball face because we're only getting highlights of Gerald Washington versus Big Baby Miller. I actually applied for the credential when I read that. I applied. I said, fuck it. I might have to go live. I got to see this. I can't. What the fuck I'm going to do with highlights? That's so
wait, hold on. We're not going to see the fight?
Nope.
Oh, get the gunshots out. Sorry. Get the gunshots out.
Oh, you ain't got no guns? Wake up.
You got the better guns.
Oh, artillery.
Thank you. Shout out to you, Brian Custer of Showtime, because you're a fan of the show, and shout out to all the Showtime team. But come on. This is a fight that is TV. This is a TV fight. If you're trying to sell Big Baby Miller for a Wilder fight down the line, then this is the fight you show on TV. This is like Anthony Joshua fighting Eric Molina. This is fighting a common opponent to set up a future fight. This is absolutely what this is. And the fact they're not showing on TV, that makes no sense. When Showtime has a vast history of showing triple headers, that makes no sense to me at all. Hopefully, maybe like the Charlo fight ends very early, so they have ton of time to fill. So they throw the Baby Miller and Washington fight in there pre-recorded. I'll be okay with that.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
I was thinking this. Maybe that fight is first. Maybe they're looking at it like this. Gerald Miller was outboxing Wilder for 4 rounds. excuse me, Gerald Washington was outboxing Wilder for 4 rounds. Maybe they're looking at it like, man, maybe Washington can take this guy the whole 10 or 12, whatever it's scheduled for. Can you check that? And they're like, there's no time. But if the knockout comes, maybe we get enough, right? I don't know. But it's definitely said not televised, bro. It said it's highlights. It said we'll be showing highlights.
That's ridiculous.
Hopefully that changes in the future. So yeah, there's that great news. That is a great card. But initially we thought it was a triple header, and that even made it better. But you know, being a double header with, you know, I mean, look, it gets you to buy the tickets. You got to buy the tickets. You got to buy the tickets. That's all it is. If you buy the tickets, Luke, you got to send a freaking request, Luke. If you buy the tickets, then you know, you can go there and watch this fight. I think it's worth it. I wasn't gonna go. You know, I'd rather be here for the immediate reaction show. I'm probably gonna still stay for them. I don't know. Is Washington and Miller gonna make me go over the fucking bridge?
And also, Jamal Herring is on that card as well, by the way.
First who?
Alejandro Luna, and also I thought that this fight was bumped off the card. Apparently, it's not, and that is the reason why Gerald Miller and Gerald Washington is not going to be televised, because there's a triple header. You're going to get Jared Hurd and Austin Trout. That's still on the card.
Ooh, oh yeah, that is
according to, again, this is BoxRec. Just to throw it out there, that fight is still on the card as of this moment, according to BoxRec.
Well,
so I'm okay with that now, to be honest.
That definitely, yeah, me too.
Because to be honest, Jared Hurd, Austin Trout's going to be aesthetically a more pleasing fight. Probably.
It is. Listen, are we done now? You got any other news you want to pull out your butt?
No, we can go, callers. Before we have our guest, Al Bernstein.
At 8 o'clock.
Yes, coming in 7 minutes. So share the show, like the show, because we're getting the Hall of Famer, Al Bernstein, on.
That's right. And now, a word from the sponsors.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Jabron is not even he's not even on he didn't press 1. Where is you said Luke is on?
Very quickly, sorry, Jared Hurd, the fight was moved according to his Instagram. Sorry, BoxRec has not updated their site, so there's no excuse for Miller and Washington to not be on the card.
The excuse is time. Yo, is Luke not there?
I don't. I think he dropped off.
Oh shit! All right. Well, in that case,
yeah, he dropped off.
Let me get to the United Kingdom. Haven't heard from my boy in a while.
So you know who I miss? I miss Blackface.
I thought I won the fight.
You thought you won the fight? Why?
Ain't no fucking padding in the fucking glove.
Yeah, respect to everyone listening in the past, present, or future. I need to eat my crow for that piece of shit Kovalev.
Damn, you late. Where you been at?
Yeah, just like to say, I'm actually, I kind of find this Pacquiao fight okay, given that, you know, Horny, I don't know anything about him. I did catch one of his fights on YouTube, and he just looks completely ordinary. But you know, the fact that Pacquiao's in his home city, in his home country, you know, it kind of makes it a little bit, you know, exciting, so to speak. So you know, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's not on a Saturday, is it? It's actually on a Sunday. This fight over here in the UK, it's been shown early on Sunday morning. I don't know if it's. You might want to check that. I don't know if it's on Saturday night over in the States, or it's going to be on Sunday. You probably have to check that out just to be sure. In regards to Paulie Malignaggi training with Conor McGregor, that's some weird shit. That's like sleeping with the enemy. I don't know even if Paulie's. I don't know if he's Paulie going to accept that. Because if he does, I would just be an agent. I would be a complete agent. I would be a snitch. I would be a rat. I would just fucking tell everyone what he's doing in the camp. I wouldn't give a fuck, to be honest with you. That's what I'll be doing anyway, as the boxer I go doing my first fight. Also on that Pacquiao card, I was just looking on BoxRec. Shane Mosley Jr. is fighting on the card, and I remember he lost to a guy that used to call in on the show. I don't know if you can remember. I don't know the guy's name, but I remember some guy called in who was fighting Shane Mosley like a couple of years ago, Shane Mosley Jr., and he beat him. Can you remember?
I can't remember. That's before my time.
Yeah, I think it was a long time ago. The other guys might remember. And a quick question. Does anyone know? I've been trying to find out who has the most wins active fighter in boxing right now. Does anybody know?
No idea.
No idea?
No idea.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's just a quick one, man. That's my call. If you don't work your mind, you'll end up working your back.
Always dropping wisdom. Blackface.
Blackface, the man.
The legend. The myth.
Talking about the myth. Next thing, you're supposed to say the legend after that, but he must have dropped off. So we're going to go out to the bully. Alexander, what up?
My man, Mr. Gibbs, how are you, sir?
He's doing good. He just stepped away for a second.
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I apologize.
All right, that's all good. I was just checking in. Now, one thing I will touch on is that undercard for Adrian Brown and Mikey Garcia, because after seeing the disrespect that LA press conference of how he did you, AB, they should have put you on there, and Mr. Gibbs, built your name up so you can touch this bum Broner when Mikey Garcia get done with him. The disrespect has been too much. When he called you that, a bitch-ass nigga as well before, it was too much. But this one, it hurt my soul when they deboed that mic off you. They gave it back, but it don't matter, man. Build your name up, get back in the ring, and when Mikey Garcia chew him up, you next on him. I'm out.
The bully. Going out to Scorsese, talk to me.
Sensitive and bitch made how this Andre Ward is getting a pass for getting run up out his own country trying to fight leftovers. I think that shit is real sensitive. I don't have very much to say. Well, I do have a lot to say on it. It's not no Stevenson love. It's none of that. It's just some whole ass shit, man, that you got one more belt and you want to go chew up this man leftovers? Come on, man. Who can that shit's not real. If you want to fight in London, take a dinosaur over there and fight in London. They'll buy that shit. They buy everything. Go do that. I don't understand the support for it. I mean, it just dismounts me to feel like, yo, man, this is what we doing now. You got one title, you can go for legacy, and people telling you to go to Tony Bellew. Come on, man. That's my call, man. For this weekend, I got Shafikov.
All right, Scorsese. Well, thanks for calling in. What we got? We got 1 minute left, Matt. Any word on the producer, the co-producer?
No, I no messages from anything like that.
All right. Well, we got some alumni on the line. It's been a while. Let's get to them.
What up, boxing boys?
What up?
What up, man? What up,
compa?
What up, compa?
What up, man? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, man, I'm just calling in, man. I just want to say that Easter Shafikov fight, can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be a good fight. But what were the topics for today? What's cracking with you guys?
We have Pacquiao Horn.
Have you guys seen it?
We have Pacquiao Horn, Conor McGregor Sparring Paulie Malignaggi, Tony Bellew calling out Andre Ward, and Kell Brook calling out Miguel Cotto.
Hey, well, I like that Bellew and Ward fight, man. I think they could promote that fight really good. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but hey, man, the one thing too, man, I don't get why Andre Ward gets a lot of hate, man. But shout out to you guys. Hey, Nes, round 2, baby, without Bernstein, you better bring that heat. You're looking at Boxing Voice, Border Wars.
Compa, make sure you send me a message. I gotta send out. I gotta send out those Patreon gifts because I'm doing a July send off for everybody that signed up in June. I know that you didn't get your shirt, so I'm gonna send you another one. I don't know what the hell happened. Let me get out to who else we got? We got a couple.
Hold on. We have Al Bernstein on, and Monster Piece is ready.
Good evening, gentlemen. I have Al Bernstein.
Hello.
Al, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Great to have you. I just want to thank you, obviously, for giving us the opportunity to interview you once again. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Well, it's good to be with you guys.
So, I mean, let's get right into it, man. Pacquiao Horn, ESPN. Good thing for boxing, right?
Yeah, I think it's good when fights get a little more exposure and you get to see the spectacle of the sport, and you get to see 55,000 people in at a stadium demonstrating that boxing internationally has so many fans and so many people that are interested, and hopefully it'll turn out to be an interesting matchup. And it can be interesting in a couple different ways. If Horn is competitive, that would be great. If Pacquiao performs brilliantly, that won't hurt, because that would, even if he dominates, because if his performance is good, that'll be something that'll further, push not only his agenda, but the sports as well, to show that, an aging superstar of the sport still has something left in the tank.
Hey, Al, it's one of the co-hosts of the show, Matt Hunter. Thank you for being on first. And, obviously with Manny Pacquiao, you got to talk about the guy that's always connected with him throughout his career, Floyd Mayweather. You obviously with Showtime. Showtime is going to broadcast the Mayweather-McGregor fight. What are your thoughts on that matchup and the overall spectacle of it?
Well, look, that's an event that people, that's been driven by the fact that people want to see it, from many different angles. Clearly, it's not a traditional boxing event. You have somebody who had 40 amateur fights who is in another sport, in mixed martial arts, who has become, along with Mayweather, one of the two largest, most dominant personalities, even though Mayweather's out of boxing, still, the two of the most dominant personalities in combat sports. And so this is a strange kind of interesting hybrid event that could only be fueled by these two particular combatants. And so you have to kind of look at it as an interesting one-off in the world of boxing and in the world of MMA. And I think it'll obviously create, as you pointed out, it'll be a spectacle. It's going to create, huge interest, and already has. And, the fascinating thing to me is when I walk around now and people say to me, "Oh, you're going to call the McGregor, Mayweather fight." I was in the Dairy Queen the other day that we go in all the time, and this young man was there, and he asked me what I think of the fight, and I said, "Well, it's obviously there's the burden of proof is on McGregor to show that he's capable of competing with Mayweather." And I said, "So it's an uphill slog. We'll see how it goes." And he said, "Yeah, but what if he could get him?" And, that at the end of the day, that young man is going to buy that pay-per-view because he wants to see that. That's basically what's driving it. And as I said, the burden of proof will be on Conor McGregor, to show that he can compete in this forum. Obviously, if they were doing an MMA match, the burden of proof would clearly be on Mayweather.
Al, unlike my co-hosts, I won't crisscross you, and we'll stay on this Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather thing, since he moonlights as an MMA podcaster from time to time. He chose to bring up the MMA boxing topic quickly, but since we're on it, your, I guess, friend Paulie Malignaggi and fellow commentator has gone on record saying that he received a call from Conor McGregor asking him, and they're working things out to see if Paulie actually joins his camp and does some sparring. I think that would be fantastic for the build-up. Obviously, Paulie probably playing some sort of role as a commentator on the telecast with yourself. and he can, you know, kind of sell a storyline. And really, they had some back and forth drama themselves on social media. I mean, Paulie said he'd box his beard off, so it shows, in Paulie's own words, it shows character of McGregor to actually call Paulie to be part of his camp. What are your thoughts?
This is the first I'm hearing of it, to be honest. So I'm not even sure. You know, I haven't codified any thoughts on it. And I haven't talked to Paulie about it or anything, because I haven't seen Paulie for several weeks. But you know, I don't know. I think I would probably take the Fifth Amendment on that. I'm not sure. If it happens, it would be an intriguing development in many different ways. But you know, I don't know whether it's something that would actually happen.
Switching it up a bit, just to take it off the Mayweather-McGregor fight, because we all sort of know what the end of that is.
Well, if you're going to switch, I would like to ask, Al, do you think that we'll get some sort of 20? Well, actually, you guys do all access. Can we get an all access? I mean, I'm dying for a press conference. I feel like these two are going to, you know, create explosions on that stage. When do we get are we getting an all access? Do you know?
Yeah, the press con. Well, I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of programming leading up to it. They're putting it together now. You know, this match was put together kind of more quickly than some thought. There will be plenty of programming, whether it'll be an all access or whether it'll be individual digital programming plus programming on Showtime. I'm guessing the UFC will participate a bit in some of the programming, and there will certainly be a lot of programming, and there certainly would be a press conference. They're working that out now, I know, to get that going. And we're about 2 months out from the fight. So with this fight, there's plenty of time for, you know, the promotional aspects of it, while they are vital, because in some ways, because they're a big part of what this is about. I don't think anybody's panicking about getting a press conference on right now, because clearly everybody already knows about it, and everybody's, you know, for the people that are stoked for this fight, they're stoked for it. But clearly that's part of the appeal, seeing McGregor, and that's what you're alluding to, seeing McGregor and Mayweather actually face off in the court of public opinion, and to watch the build up to this fight. And many would argue the build up to the fight is the thing, you know.
Yes.
But I'm sure that'll ramp up in the next weeks or so.
I'm a boxing guy, so I think that he has absolutely no chance versus our. This is like the dream team, you know, where it was our best basketball players versus the world. Like it was no shot. So it's our best versus, you know, a guy that's never been in the ring. So I'm like,
Ali Inoki. That's what it is. It's Ali Inoki.
He did have 40 amateur fights, so which doesn't qualify him to fight Mayweather, but he has actually boxed. But yes, I would sometimes. A friend of mine said it's like somebody that who's a very talented community theater performer getting a role on Broadway. He might be able to produce, but the onus is definitely would be on him to be able to fulfill that role. And that's true of McGregor. Clearly, he's a monstrous underdog, deservedly so, and it will take some kind of interesting, extraordinary event. Now, on the other side of the fence, some people point out that he will rehydrate and be much the bigger man on the time of the fight. Whether that has any impact remains to be seen. And they say he will attack awkwardly, and some feel that will have an impact on Mayweather. That's, you know, clearly in this era of spin doctoring, you can spin doctor almost anything. There's no question he's a huge underdog, as you point out.
Very quickly, Robert Easter Jr., the undefeated lightweight champion, IBF champion, is fighting this weekend on Bounce TV. Obviously, Adrian Broner has connections with Showtime. Al Heyman has connections with Showtime. And Easter has been calling out fighters that have been featured on Showtime, Jorge Linares, Mikey Garcia, and such. Would that be a fight down the road, Robert Easter Jr., if he gets past Dennis Shafikov this weekend, him against a Linares, against a Mikey, in the future. Would that be a fight that Showtime would televise?
Well, I don't know. I'm not privy to be honest, to what exact. I know that having more lightweight division fights, because we've been building that story. We showed Linares against Krolla, and of course we've shown Garcia. Now Garcia's stepping up in weight to face Broner in July. I am sure Robert Easter, he's a good fighter too. He's a very good fighter. And the lightweight division which was kind of dormant for a while, has now gained some steam. If a lot of it will depend on what Garcia's next move is, depending on whether he wins or loses against Broner, and whether he says he wants to come back down 135 pounds. Will he do that, or will he stay at 140? Jorge Linares out there, I think he and Easter would be a terrific fight. One that I think boxing fans would certainly love to see. And I know he's been, the young man from Toledo has been craving a chance to be seen on a bigger platform and against bigger name fighters. So I think the thing you're suggesting is next up at bat. Certainly for him, he would like to have a fight against one of the bigger stars, if you will, even though he's got a championship, one of the bigger stars in the lightweight division.
Now, you brought up Mikey Garcia, obviously in his fight against Adrian Broner, and him mentioning that he would like to come back down to 135, regardless if he wins or loses. In your opinion, doesn't Mikey Garcia come back to lightweight after the Adrian Broner fight?
That is the $64,000 question. If he performs well and wins that fight against Broner, and 140 pounds feels good for him, he already talked about the fact that he'd be more than happy to face Manny Pacquiao at 140 pounds. But then again, he'd probably be happy to come back to 135 if Vasily Lomachenko was moving up to 135. I can't imagine that Lomachenko would fight Garcia in the first fight that he moves up to 135. I just don't think that would make sense for him. And I can't imagine, although God knows he won a title in a handful of fights and he hasn't backed away from any challenges. So you might see that, but I think it will depend on what's available at 140 for Garcia. If there's not a mega fight available to him, I think he will come back to 135 and campaign in that division. Apparently it wasn't, from what I've told, it hasn't been as easy as they thought to make a Linares Garcia fight, but that would be one that certainly boxing fans would like to see.
Al, you mentioned Lomachenko for Mikey, but when they announced this one and the Mikey Broner, they came to New York City. Obviously, I seen him in the press conference, and I asked him where was his loyalty going to lie now. Obviously, after his hiatus, he had the Leos Rojas fight, which was a pretty, good fight for a guy coming off of like almost a 2-year layoff, and
right.
Getting good money and having it televised thanks to Al. Next, he got a title shot on, again, television thanks to Al. Now you're getting this big Adrian Broner fight thanks to Al. Is he just going to go fight Lomachenko on HBO?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that, and who knows that, I mean, that could be a pay-per-view fight. You don't know. I mean, I don't, and also, boxing politics are very mercurial. So, he's talking about the idea of a Lomachenko fight, whether it's feasible or it isn't. I'm talking strictly from what is fascinating to boxing fans. Whether that is makeable or whether it could happen, it's not likely to happen right away. But he's the one saying he'd like to fight Lomachenko. So, for whatever it's worth, he's putting that on the radar screen. There have been different fighters cross-pollinating the networks and cross-pollinating different promotional groups now, much more than there were before. And so we may be in an era where we might start to see that. I don't know. I'm not saying that's for sure. But there are options for Garcia, because if he beats Broner, and again, that's it's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch, though he's going in a favorite in the fight. He will have raised his stock after the long layoff, and people will be reminded again that they once felt Mikey Garcia was a potential pound-for-pound champion.
Al, I know you might call this one. Sorry, Matt. I know you might call this one, but where's your gut lie with this one? Because you know the obviously we're all like, oh, what Adrian Broner are we gonna get? But forget that. Mikey's never been punched by anybody that hits as hard as Broner. It's just the bottom line. He went down by Roman Martinez.
Right. Yeah, no, I think it's a misnomer. You know, I am calling that fight, so I wouldn't pick a winner, but I will say that that is one of the you hit on something that's a very strong element in this fight. You know, Broner fought as high as 147, was able to stun Maidana, although he's more of a 140-pounder fighting at 147. And knocked down Sean Porter. I don't know if he hurt him, but he knocked him down. So yes, Mikey Garcia's never been hit by anybody that punches, maybe like Broner does, because Broner has been at a higher weight. So it's not a given that Mikey Garcia wins this fight. That's part of what's making it such an alluring and interesting fight. It's not just the fact that Broner is a flamboyant personality. How's that for my euphemism for Adrian Broner? Or that Garcia is a talented fighter. This is a very competitive fight, and it isn't a foregone conclusion that Garcia will win. The part of this, though, that you asked the question. You asked what Adrian Broner is going to show up, and I don't even know if it's about that. When you look at these two fighters in terms of their skill sets and what they do in the ring, if they were always fighting you look at Garcia going in as the favorite in this fight, even though he's stepping up in weight class, and even though clearly, Broner, as you said, is probably the hardest hitter, yet still Garcia's the favorite in the fight. Now, some of that has to do with just betting odds, not so much who's better. But if they were fighting at the same weight class all the time, and you just line these two fighters up next to each other, Garcia would be the favorite every single time they fought, because he's simply a better fighter. He's mechanically much better than Adrian Broner. He has more weapons. But what makes this fight fascinating is what you said. Here's a guy that can punch, doesn't throw many punches during a round, but then neither does Garcia, and he can hurt you a little bit. So, and he could certainly hurt a fighter coming up in weight class. So that's part of what makes this a fascinating fight. It's not a foregone conclusion that Mikey Garcia is going to win that fight by any stretch.
Very quickly before your time is up, because we know you are very busy, thoughts on the undercard being announced for that card, the Jarrett Miller versus Gerald Washington fight and the Jamal Charlo versus Highland fight?
Yeah, Jamal Charlo, I will say that I did ask Steve Farhood and I were on the phone the other day, and I said so Jamal Charlo's in a middleweight eliminator fight, and he's never had a middleweight fight. Now this is not the first time this has happened in the world of boxing, but I have to admit it's kind of amusing. But by the same token, I think we all recognize that Jamal Charlo's a terrific fighter. Will he be one at 160 pounds? That's the question, I guess, and we'll find out if Highland can help give us an answer to that fight. And the heavyweight fight is going to be an interesting one, just because, if for no other reason, because I think those guys are going to throw down at each other. So I think that's going to be kind of fun to see.
Al, speaking of that heavyweight fight, did I read
Nestor, last question, please.
All right. Did I read the press release wrong, or are we only getting highlights of the Gerald Washington versus Gerald Miller fight? Is it not going to be telecast?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think that's something that's to be decided. I haven't received the paperwork on that yet, so I'm not sure how that will come down, whether we'll show the whole fight or what will happen with that. It's I'm going to guess that would be none for showing it, but or if at the very least it would be on Show Extreme if they decide to have a Show Extreme show.
Well, Al, we want to thank you. Always a pleasure to have a Hall of Famer here on the show, allowing us to pick his brain and just allowing us to soak in your knowledge. Al, man, thank you again for being on here. We truly appreciate your time.
Great to be with you guys, and we'll do this again soon, but I appreciate you inviting me on.
Thank you.
Care.
Monster Piece, thank you as well. Let us know when you're ready. That was pretty good. Let's get to Amin. I want to check in. Amin, what's going on, brother? Amin.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to Amin.
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my brother.
Yo, you know it ain't no show without Info Joe. What up, Ness? What up, Matt?
What up, Joe?
Joe, what
all
up?
the Boxing Voice listeners. Yo, put me down for Robert Easter. J-Rock, good to see him back. Put me down for Pac-Man to KO Jeff Horn. After this fight, if Pac continues to hold that belt hostage and does not fight anyone deserving like Thurman, Spence, Porter, or Danny, etc., his new name will be Mrs. Pac-Man. Pass the torch, Pacquiao. Ward versus Bellew. I would like if he stayed at 175 and fought Adonis, but I respect what he's doing. He's trying to go up in weight and be great. What else? Yo, I got to put this in the air. From my lips to the boxing god's ears, please make the Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux fight this year. That's a hardcore, purist boxing fans' wet dream fight. If I had a choice to sleep with Cardi B or watch that fight, man, I love some Cardi B with her sexy ass, but I would have to kick her to the curb and watch Rigondeaux versus Lomachenko.
Yo, that is amazing, B. I can't wait to talk about on Overdrive. It's so funny. I was killing Matt with something that you brought up, man. So Joe, stick around for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, hit those thumbs up. Become a Patreon. You're listening to the voice of the people. There is no equal. Peace. That's my call, brothers.
All right, Matt, let's go back out to yes, sir.
I'm a motherfucking monster.
Hi, guys. What's up, guys? It's been a while. Definitely. Yeah, a lot's been going on. You guys saw the latest? Keith Thurman has a new boo. I was like, what? Let me find out.
I know, right? That is a different
He has, but it's a real woman. You would expect him to be kind of with a Kim Kardashian type, Kylie Jenner type of shit. But no, he's with a good girl, and it looks like she's good. So congratulations to him.
It's funny because I thought I seen him with something like that before. So this is, I don't know. I can't wait to see him. I wonder if this is new. Maybe he fell in love during this trip.
I know. He does go to Asia a lot. So she looks like she's Indian. So it's really exciting to see him, finding Mrs. One Time. And you know what? Today, something funny really happened today at work. You guys know I work in advertising. So I have this brand. I'm not going to mention no names, but I have this brand. And today I was discussing, big ideas for a campaign. And the client of this brand, the brand managers and shit, they wanted to advertise ESPN. And I took this information to the people that manages the big campaigns, the people that you go with the planning ideas. And the first thing that they mentioned was like, oh, why don't we put it into boxing? Isn't like Mayweather or something like that having like a fight coming up? And I'm like, what? Like, these are the casuals of the casuals of the casuals. And they brought that up. And I sat there and I told myself, like, holy shit. Like, You know, this is the kind of level of success and fame that you, as a fighter, want to accomplish at some point in your life. And I don't even think it's just Mayweather. I think it's just boxing in general. It still has relevancy in people's, you know, when it comes down to business, it has relevancy to people's minds. Like, people still think of boxing. I don't think, you know, I was really against this Conor McGregor and Mayweather fight, but after seeing the way this casuals, like, come on, like, you should see the people I work with. They do not watch boxing, you know, the way I do. I'm probably 1% person in the job that does watch boxing. And they brought it up. They were talking about it, how they want to put dollars into this fight. So this is good news in terms of that. I'm still a little kind of on the fence of that fight. I'm not, you know, crazy about it. But just hearing that made me feel kind of like dumb. Not dumb, but kind of like, yeah, I should stop hating on it. But yeah, that was my 2 cents. Just wanted to bring that up real quick. And, you know, if you're still kind of against the fight, you're still upset about it, man, it's making money. People are talking about it. And even casual fans are even you know, putting their 2 cents on it. So it's huge. It's a huge deal. I also want to see Rigo versus Lomachenko. I agree with Info Joe. That is a dream fight, but Rigo has to come up. Doesn't he have to come up, guys? I think he has to come up.
Yeah, but he's
We're always asking Triple G to move up all the time, and we should put that pressure on Rigo as well and ask him to move up and fight. You know, who is he gonna fight in his
Monster?
What happened?
Rigo said he'll go to 130.
What you said?
Rigo
Rigo versus Lomachenko?
Rigo said he'll go to 130.
Oh, good. Work has been crazy because of what I've been talking about, but and I haven't really been reading about that. But that's good. That's good to know. Well, I hope that fight gets made. I'm gonna pray to the boxing gods, and hopefully we get another heavy hitter for 2019 that I can advertise on. I'll talk to you guys soon. Everyone, please join us on Patreon, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Y'all already know, TVV family. We love y'all.
Monster, stay up with us for overtime, man. We're going to be talking a little something that has something to do with you. Joe brought it up. You're Dominican. We got to all be there on this one.
I have no idea.
I know you don't. You don't know nothing about this, brother. You ain't even Dominican, B, so I don't even know. Do we got any ringers I got to get to? If not, we going to Santiaguito.
No ringer.
Santiago, what's up? Santiago?
Hey, guys, sorry about that. I had it on mute.
You on a moped?
No, it was my AC. No, anyway.
AC sounds like a muffler. Hey, call us back,
anyway.
Santiago. That one's no good, brother. That's definitely bad. Gabe in Salt Lake City, talk to me.
Yeah, how's it going, TVB? Man, I think this Pacquiao or Top Rank ESPN deal is good. And, you know, when PBC first got announced, you know, I'm like super excited. But I think to really see if this is going to work is if we're going to get some of the PBC guys on ESPN, or, you know, Golden Boy already has their platform there, but that's to kind of develop their fighters. I want to see some of the big names on ESPN. Have you guys mentioned that on this show? I kind of came in a little late. Can I get your guys' thoughts on that?
I definitely would like to see it. I'm hoping that this, you know, does something, Matt. What if this works out and Keith Thurman and Pacquiao can do that unification on ESPN? And you know what? What hasn't been spoken of? The fact that ESPN is really showing that if HBO is going to drop the ball, they're going to pick it up because they got 2 separate deals. They got a Top Rank deal and a Golden Boy deal. Shit. They might as well. And they got Max Kellerman telecast. Oh, that's nice.
Well, I don't know if they got telecast because they got Max Kellerman, period. They have him on First Take.
Yeah. But no, I mean, you know, if he's not doing what we know him for, I don't really care when he's over there on First Take.
I'm just saying, when you talk about a potential move.
Yeah, no, listen. Overall, Matt, it's a great thing.
HBO's side and HBO's lane, they do.
And let me ask you, you know, you're the hipster, right? Maybe you know this information because the last time, I'm not gonna say I checked, but I do remember the ESPN and HBO. They have some sort of like brothership, right? Sisterhood or something. There's something there. Double check that. We're gonna get to some ringers. Who do we got? Actually, Gabe, are you done, or you let us rob you for your call?
Yeah, that was it, man. Hey, good show, TBV. Thanks,
Gabe. Thanks as always, brother.
We got Dempsey.
Dempsey, bring him on.
What's
Dempsey.
up, guys?
What up?
Yo. So yeah, you guys remember a little while ago when Pacquiao Horn was first being announced, and I was going off talking all kinds of mad shit, saying I had to protest it, wouldn't watch it, all kinds of shit. Well, apparently I'm eating my words now. I do gotta give Top Rank credit. Them moving to moving this fight to ESPN for everybody for free to watch on basic cable is a good thing. It's a really good thing, and hopefully, you know, I mean, we all know what Manny brings to the table, but hopefully Jeff Horn makes it an entertaining enough of a fight to the point where more people will want to tune in on boxing matches on ESPN in the future. So this is a good move. It's a good move. I can't be mad at this, and because of that, I'm going to be tuning in, of course, definitely. You know, so. But the winner for that, I got Pacquiao. I don't know if he'll win by stoppage, but there's a possibility he can't. And then, but if it goes the distance, I do think he'll take a decision. And then, of course, you got the PBC cards coming up with Robert Easter. I got Robert Easter winning that fight, and I also got the return of J-Rock Williams coming back. I'm looking forward to him. I think he'll win his fight as well too. So you got me down for those wins. And then, what else? Oh, this whole idea about Paulie going over to spar with McGregor. He said he had interest and he might consider doing it, you know. So, hey, it's very interesting because I mean they were talking just a brief moment of shit on Twitter from what I understand, but seeing that McGregor's team reached out to Paulie in regards to maybe helping him prep for the Mayweather fight, I think it does speak volumes in terms of how serious McGregor is trying to take this fight. But I don't think that's going to better his chances of winning at all. So, but we all know what's going to happen when that night comes. But regardless, man, it's a huge event. Everyone's loving it. Everyone's into it. I mean, I'm even doing stupid little bets with my friends, not even on who's going to win, but on how it's going to end. So, but yeah, man, yeah, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. I think that's my time. And yeah, guys, yeah, rest of the show.
Dempsey, thank you, brother, for calling in as always. What up?
Very quickly, HBO and ESPN have zero relationship. Actually, they are competitors. At least their parent companies are. The parent company of ESPN is ABC, and the parent company of ABC is Walt Disney, or Walt Disney Corporation. And the owner of HBO is Time Warner, and Time Warner and Disney are competitors, along with Comcast. So this does seem like a move on maybe Disney, ABC, to take Time Warner and HBO's boxing content. Possibility.
Yeah, man. Damn, I thought they were somehow, but not. All right, competitive.
Okay, quickly, we also have another ringer, Luke from New Jersey.
All right, let's go to him.
Yo, what's happening, people?
What's up?
I think Ward versus Bellew is okay. You know, it's the biggest money fight for Ward, so you can't really hate on that, you know, because it's prize fighting. And whether he fights Stevenson or whether he fights Parker, those are not as much money. And, you know, I don't know if it'll be that bad of a fight because Bellew is a lot bigger than him. Bellew's been looking good. Ward's been looking bad. So it's not that bad a fight. I mean, I'd rather see Adonis, but it's not that bad a fight. Ness. You keep talking about Dallas and Australia. Man, I don't give a shit about Dallas or Australia. Have you ever gone to any of these shows and been up in the rafters?
Well,
you can't see shit up there, man. You can't see shit.
But I'm with 20, 40 friends, bro, and we're fucking chilling, and we're looking at the jumbotron, and we're having drinks, and
exactly. You looking at it on TV, even.
But that's okay. But we're part of the environment. We're part of that wave. You know?
From the promoter's perspective.
Yo, if it was some UK people, when they be like, dun, 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 you know, they get hype. I want to be part of that crowd.
The atmosphere is totally different. The atmosphere is totally different. It doesn't matter if you have 10K or if you have 100K or you have 1 million. The atmosphere is determined by the quality of the fans. For example, I went to Leo Santa Cruz versus Frampton at the Barclays. That crowd was not sold out. I don't even think they opened the upper deck. But that crowd was lit, man. The atmosphere was amazing. And why was it amazing? Because British fans are amazing. Then after that, I went to Thurman versus Garcia, which had more people. And that crowd kind of sucked, man, because American fans they just are not as into boxing as British fans, man. Frampton got crazy crowd. Were you at that Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz fight in Barclays?
Yeah, I was there.
That fight was crazy, man. And from the promoter's perspective, like Joshua bringing Joshua to Vegas, it makes so much more money, man. I mean, Floyd versus Pacquiao made $70 million. You know how much they made it in UK when they sold it like 90,000 at Wembley? Probably made eight or 9 million. Like there's just no comparison there. You know, 8 or 9 million versus 70 million. And I think people would travel for Joshua, man.
I don't know, Matt. You got to get those numbers.
I'm looking it up right now. Don't worry.
What do you mean 8 or 9 million? What are you talking about? What is that number about? Live gate, you're saying?
Yeah, he's saying live gate.
No way.
Yes, live gate.
Wow.
I don't think that the live gate numbers have actually been published for Joshua versus Klitschko, but they were published for Froch versus Groves, which was 80,000, and that was like 8 million.
Yeah, but Froch Groves, those ticket prices aren't going to be the price of fucking Klitschko and Joshua, buddy. And Luke, you gotta send a friend request on Skype if you want to be added to the call, bro. I don't know what's up with you.
Yeah, I don't know how to
very quickly. Hold on, Luke, you are right technically. BloodyElbow.com in conjunction with the Mirror, which is a UK outlet, has some number breakdown of a projection. Because Luke, you are right. There are no release numbers yet. They said in this article that it was going to make 53 million total the entire event, and 8 million of that was due to the crowd and the receipts from obviously them buying tickets.
Damn.
So they say 8 million pounds, which I think it comes out to maybe $9.5 million.
If they put it in Vegas, it would do double. I guarantee at least double, maybe triple. And like that's not like a 50% difference. It's a big difference.
Yeah, but Luke, you're still leaving out the fact. You're still leaving out the fact that they're gonna double the price of the tickets, if not triple it, and we're not gonna get to go. That's the point of having it in the stadium.
Yeah, but I don't really want to go up in the rafters. I mean, maybe you want to go up in the rafters, man. When I go to the Barclays, I get good seats. I don't want to sit up in the rafters. If I'm going to sit up in the rafters, I might as well watch at home.
I just don't believe it. You'll be in the rafters,
me,
bro. A stadium is different, man. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I think the cheapest ticket for Pacquiao Horn is like $37.
37. Look at that, man. That's what I'm talking
about. Yeah, they're
about.
basically giving the tickets away.
That's not a bad thing.
Cheaper than a pay-per-view. Just throwing it out there.
I can't see how that's a bad thing, Luke. I can't see how that's a bad thing.
But I don't think you guys touched on Hurd being pulled from the Mikey versus Broner card. That really pissed me off.
We did. But it's, hey, look. They're moving it somewhere else. That fight probably deserves to be a little main event somewhere. Why not? PBC has a lot of dates. And look, we got 3-4 fights, almost 5 fights on this card now.
That would have been the best fight, even with all this other stuff. It's a better fight than all the other ones. Charlo versus Highland is a showcase fight, man. He's going to kill him. Like I don't know how they're putting Highland as like the WBC eliminator, man. He doesn't deserve to be there. The other thing is Canelo's not going to take the WBC, so Charlo won't be the mandatory for Canelo, and Golovkin has a rematch clause with Canelo, so Charlo still won't be the mandatory for Golovkin. So, man, they're going to swerve Charlo hardcore, just like Canelo's been swerving the Charlos for the last 10 years.
Yeah, but the Charlos are a
But,
different breed, bro. You know the Charlos are gonna talk mad shit. They're gonna go Clubber Lane on either Triple G or Canelo, and they won't be able to. Canelo won't be able to hide as long as he did. Triple G's a nice guy. Every time somebody asks him, "Oh, what's up?" "Oh no, Canelo, he's businessman." Yo, Charlos ain't saying that shit. They coming for Canelo's sweet ass if he don't want to fight. I'm just saying, my opinion. But Luke, man, thanks for calling in, buddy. Let me get to some other calls. We got any other ringers out there? If not, we got to get back to Santiago. Remember, he dropped off.
Yeah, we got Santiago right here. I'll get to him.
Hey guys, can you hear me just fine?
Just fine.
All right, great. So obviously, we've got boxing tomorrow and Saturday. ESPN putting it Pacquiao Horn for free. Most of us were pretty dejected when we thought we were gonna have to pay the top ranked pay-per-view for this. The fact that it's free, it's something to look forward to at least. So obviously, as far as I'm concerned, Pacquiao's gonna win this fight handily. We're not gonna see the dynamic Pacquiao that most of us are used to. I think we're gonna see the same skillful Pacquiao we've always seen, but I think the fight could actually turn to a point where Pacquiao dominates Horn in a way that we can actually maybe say that this is a boring fight. But regardless, I think this is a fight that Pacquiao should win. I don't think he's going to get the knockout. I think it's going to be a 12-round unanimous decision, maybe a knockdown or two scored, but that's about it. Paulie Malignaggi sparring Conor McGregor. It's good to see that Conor's trying to get some boxers to help him, hone his craft in preparation for Mayweather. Whether or not it helps him, remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, at least he's not just, sitting back and just relying on his current skill set. He's actually trying to refine himself. And, we can only wish him the best that he can give us a good fight regardless. As far as the whole Andre Ward, Tony Bellew situation, as far as I'm concerned, I think Andre Ward shouldn't think about moving up to cruiserweight or anything like that and focus on establishing himself as the undisputed champion by taking on Adonis Stevenson and getting all four belts, become one of the handful of people that has held all four belts, because the last person I can think of at least that has held all four belts at once is Bernard Hopkins. And how long ago was that? So it'd be nice to see an undisputed light heavyweight champion in Andre Ward. He's got, 3 of the 4 major belts plus the ring belt. So it would be nice for him to do that before anything else. And then as for Kell Brook making his comeback and trying to get a fight with Miguel Cotto in December of 2018, I think it's a good fight. I would watch that fight. I think Kell Brook and Miguel Cotto might just catch him, closing out. It's a winnable fight for him. Definitely a fight that, won't be too rough on him. Cotto is pretty much up there in age, and, the money's right. If they bring him over to the UK, I think that's where they'll both make the most amount of money. And at this point, like I said in the previous show, Cotto's at the cash out to his career where he's going to try to take the fights that'll give him the most money. As always, any questions you guys have regarding any of these topics of the shows, feel free to ask. Otherwise, that's my call.
Santiago, thanks for calling in, my friend. Let's see here. And the bell is back. Matt.
Yes.
Are you alive, Matt?
I'm alive.
Matt, your bags are packed?
No.
No? He's missing his flight. You always miss your flight, bro.
How am I missing my flight?
You're not ready. You're not ready, Matt. I'm stalling, Matt. You know why? Because I'm looking for this press release that I received today that speak of the devil, Jamal James. I don't know if he just won his fight the other day and now he's in this other thing, but Jamal James is fighting Jojo Dan. I'm trying to figure out where. Oh, damn, he's gonna be fighting when we're away. We'll be flying.
Of course.
What is it? On the Omar Figueroa, Robert Guerrero card.
Jojo Dan on that card.
Yep. But that's a good fight because Jojo Dan, remember, he went up to 54. He didn't need to. He went there for that Jarrett Hurd opportunity.
Yeah.
So now he'll be back at welter, and Dan is a good barometer for Jamal James. Now remember, Jamal James, even though we thought he was going to pan out to be a little bit more, he had a setback. He had that loss, and he hasn't really honed in on his particular craft yet. Like, he's a tall fighter that doesn't fight tall, doesn't fight long. So Jojo Dan, I think it's a good fight for this welterweight prospect. What do you think?
I think it's a decent fight. I think it's a name that has fought other people. Like, Jojo Dan has fought Kell Brook, so he's fought notable names. So I think it's a decent fight.
Aiden twice.
What was that?
He's fought Selçuk Aiden twice.
True. Another name, relatively speaking. Obviously not the name of a Kell Brook, but I mean, Jojo Dan has been in there with guys. He's a veteran. Like you said, this is Jamal James going back down to welterweight, so I don't mind the matchup at all. And plus, they seem to be just stacking that card with
Dan going back down to welterweight.
Dan going back down. Which I think it's better for him too. I don't think he should be at 154. But I like that this card, that they're sort of putting a lot of people on it. They're putting names on it. Whatever you think about the matchups, they're putting a lot of people on this Fox card.
Matt, sounds like something that you and I did a show on not too long ago, where a lot of the things are coming true. I mean, so far I got one wrong. Obviously, I was wrong with the Vegas thing. But these PBC cards, very UFC stackish. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A lot of fights on these cards, a lot of names on these cards. I remember you and I did a show where we said things were kind of going in that UFC model.
Yeah, I think the sport as a whole is also going that direction. That they know they can't just fight showcases all the time. That you can't fight 3 showcases and tune-ups in a row once you're in the top 10. That needs to stop.
Yeah, we got a lot of callers, but you know what we forgot to mention? That your boy Michael Conlon is going to be fighting on the Pacquiao Horn card in Australia himself. I like that. He's getting his little international exposure. You know, normally fighters that are with Bob Arum, they're able to get that. You know, some of these guys go to China, and now look, now they're going to Australia. That's got to be pretty cool, man, for Conlon to get a fight out there. Let's go out to the IG Master.
I won't deny it.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
Come with me. Hail Mary, run quick speed. What do we have here now? ThaBoxingvoice.com. Everybody fight it. Like the Uno.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Nothing much. What's up, Alex?
Man,
you excited for Pacquiao on ESPN?
Boxing, man, I mean, I'm excited about that, man. I'm happy. It's big for boxing. It might not. I'm hoping it's going to be at least a decent fight, but it's good for boxing, man. Almost 60,000 in attendance, millions watching on TV. Top ranked debut on ESPN. Should be great. It should be great for boxing. And then, I mean, look at ESPN backing them the way they are. Tomorrow, First Take at 5 o'clock, they're having a fight special. Matt Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith are going to be just talking about boxing. So you can't beat that. And then we got Robert Easter. You got J-Rock on Bounce TV, free TV. And then don't forget Gabriel Flores Jr. on his second fight on Uni Mas, 11 o'clock Pacific time. So that's good. And then get the violin music ready, man, because I want to hit that Ward and Bellew real quick. I'm telling you, man, Ward cannot win. Everybody wanted Triple G to go up. Khan, Brook went up. They got credit for it. Ward's willing to go up, and he still can't win. I mean, the controversy with the co-fight the first time he comes back. I hear you. He comes back, wins the second one. And now he's willing to move up and fight Bellew, who's a big name over there in the UK. And then maybe Stevenson afterwards. I mean, to me, this sounds like a game plan. Sounds good.
Sounds good to me too, man. But the thing is, Alex, that you and I, we're from the same cloth. We're cut from a different breed. We're glass half full. Matt's glass half empty. Alex, let me let you go. We need to start getting to get ready because overtime is about to kick in. If you haven't checked that out, check us out on Patreon because it's going down. We got a lot of topics to talk about. We're gonna go back. We're gonna double back on New Jersey, Matt. We're gonna check with Amin if he's around. Amin, what up?
Yo, fellas.
What it do, bro?
Yo. Good. I'm glad y'all came back to me. Listen, Ward and Bellew, I think that's a good fight, man. But yo, I want to say something about Scorsese. Scorsese got to be trolling because I've heard this cat talk about boxing. He's very intelligent, and he must think Adonis Stevenson is really that good that he's throwing Ward under the bus. I mean, is he trolling or is that how you really feel? Y'all tell me.
It happens, man. God knows.
I mean, with Scorsese, you never know. Remember, this is the guy that said Keith Thurman, Sean Porter was whack.
This is what I'm saying. So, I mean, listen, the Bellew fight is good because I think it does open him up. We got such an intercontinental market now with fighters now, and McGregor and Mayweather are leading into that. Mayweather taking Gervonta Davis over there and making him a star. Errol Spence just coming from over there. Right now, we're getting very intercontinental with it. We got the whole Jeff Horn fight. I'm just saying, the Bellew fight is good for Ward. Nessa, I think that's a good, way to look at it. Because remember, I was saying Ward might join up in the tournament, but perhaps he's earned the right to ride the coattails of whoever's leading in that tournament, take a fight on the outside of that, and then, once he's done with the winner of the tournament, or whether he takes Bellew, Stevenson, and then the winner of the tournament, I think he definitely get rights to 175 undisputed. So that's pretty much my call. Shout out to the show. I'm gonna see if I can catch y'all on overtime tonight too, fellas.
Peace out, Amin.
Don't forget to join us on overtime. It's going down, man. I got some interesting topics I want to bring up. We're going to Donald on the trap phone. Donald, what it do?
What's up, man? Y'all know I like Ward, but I'm just scared for him to move up in weight because, it would be very embarrassing for him to move up in weight and fight Tony Bellew and lose to Tony Bellew, who actually lost to Stevenson, although it would be at a different weight class. I mean, there's too much more for Ward at 175. I mean, he could fight Barrera, Smith Jr. winner. If the Nathan Carey and Badu Jack fight is made, he can fight the winner of that. And then also, Arthur Beterbiev, I think he's ranked number 2 by IBF right now. And I remember Matt was saying he was having some promotion issues, but Beterbiev has a fight on the 29th of this month. So I think that that fight right there will probably put Beterbiev at number 1. He could also fight him as well. And as far as the Miller and Washington fight, like I'm happy for Gerald that for his comeback fight, he's not like taking the cherry pick or a baby fight or coming back fighting somebody who's got a bunch of losses. He's still trying to insert himself in. More or less like, hey, I lost to Wilder, but guess what? I'm still trying to insert myself into the division, So I think if Miller wins that fight, he'll probably be fighting Wilder next. But if Washington, if he wins the fight, that just puts him back into the rankings into a better position. And as far as Canelo and Triple G, I think that if Canelo beats Triple G and he accepts the WBC, I feel like Canelo will still be ducking Charlo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he wants that fight. So I think that that's good for Canelo that he's already putting it out there that he doesn't want the WBC. So if he beats Triple G and doesn't take the WBC belt, it's kind of like, well, I don't want to fight you anyway, Charlo, but it's not like I'm ducking you because I didn't accept the WBC belt. It's like he already has it set up on how he's going to do his duck. It's like it always sets up like that. And about Kell Brook and Cotto, I think Brook can beat Cotto, and I think that would be a good fight for him because I don't think Cotto could hurt him like that or mess his eye up any more than what it's already messed up. And if and as long as Cotto is still holding that WBO when he makes the fight with Kell Brook, that inserts Brook into the 154-pound division as the WBO champion. So then that gives him leverage to, you know, do what he wants to do. But I still would think it's a good and bad idea. It's a good idea because he'll get a belt, but it's a bad idea because he becomes a champion, and then that puts him in harm's way to possibly be fighting a monster at 154 and get blinded, you know? So, but, you know, I just try to hit on all of the subjects of that. But you know what I'm saying? That's about it. But, you know, yeah, I just don't want to see Ward move up and lose. That would really hurt my feelings because I really like Ward, you know?
Donald, you are the man, my friend. Thanks for calling in. We're going out to Kansas City with the Mac. What up? Kansas City Mac?
Yo. Oh, yo. What's up? How y'all doing? See, I got that Pacquiao and that horn going down. Hope Pacquiao go in there and do his thing, get on up out of there. I got him late rounds, finishing them off between the 10 and 12. I see him snapping back like some heavy ones, real quick ones, get him horn up out of there. Blow the horn, he's out of there. I think we're done about Broner. That's still split, but I'm having a little doubts on him too. But and then you know how I feel about McGregor. I still don't get it. I still won't understand until the fight goes down why it's happening, but I guess it's happening. So Matt broke it down why McGregor started off with MMA and not boxing. But he's still gonna get eaten up for 12 rounds. It will not be a knockout. Mayweather's gonna eat him up for 12 rounds and get him out of there.
Yo, Kansas City Mac, I'm starting to see that you're gonna be one of the main people buying this fight. You having a fight party, aren't you?
Yeah, you know what? I actually heard that's crazy what you said because I've been really contemplating with my old lady if we're gonna have one.
Nah, throw that shit, man.
Man, get up out of here.
Throw that fight party,
yeah, I
man.
am gonna have one.
It's not a traditional fight that would get a fight party, but we should throw it anyway.
Yeah, and then Andre Ward, yeah, I already said it in the past that he will be moving up. Heavyweight sounds so far-fetched, but Andre Ward doing his thing. I still say he should go ahead and unify, but the kid gonna do what he wants to do. I can't do that. I can't stop that. Dove, you can get it too. Adonis Steven can get it too. I'm out. Thank you guys. ThaBoxingvoice. Love y'all for what y'all do, man.
Kansas City Mac, you are the man.
And very quickly, because I know a lot of people like him are confused as to why we are getting this fight. We are getting Mayweather McGregor over more legitimate fights, and there's a simple answer: money.
What do you mean we are getting it? Oh yeah. Obviously, because I mean, this guy represents a big payday, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why. Like, that's the obvious reason why.
Mayweather challenging himself. He's challenging himself on how rich could he get? How many bank accounts could he fucking?
How much money can he get in one fight?
Yeah, you know, that's the challenge at this point. But it's look, he's a brand at this point. You can't, you know, he's his own event. He's his own thing. Like, he's even got his own price now.
He's bigger than boxing. Just a fact. Mayweather's bigger than boxing.
He is boxing. He is boxing.
He is boxing. That's maybe a better way to put it, but yeah.
For now, until the Terminator takes over. Gary from Dallas, talk to me. Yo, one time should change his name to that, the Terminator.
No, you should not.
Yeah. Hey.
Gary, let's go to Gary. That was awful.
Yeah, onto the Pacquiao fight. I actually think this is going to be an entertaining fight. I got to watch two Jeff Horn's fights on YouTube against Randall Bailey and Ali Fanuka. I mean, I know those aren't great names anymore, but this kid really attacks the body, and he can take some punishment. So I think he's going to stand up 8-9 rounds and take some punishment, and Pac's going to establish himself again as a sensational knockout artist that we haven't seen in a while, and which is going to set him up for a passing of the torch on a major pay-per-view bout with Terrence Crawford probably next year. I mean, what do you guys think of that? Because then, you know, Aaron can display how great Crawford is, and then have like a passing of the, you know, of the torch from Pacquiao as the pay-per-view king. to seamlessly passing it to Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
Bob
but
Arum
I don't
was
know.
the best guy in that weight class.
I don't know if you could just, pass the torch. You got to kind of take it, and I guess we'll know where Pacquiao's at with this performance, but I don't expect Pacquiao to have any slip.
And very quickly, just because you beat a pay-per-view draw does not make you a pay-per-view draw. That's a misconception. Does it help? Absolutely. But it does not automatically make you one. If Crawford beats Pacquiao, which I believe he will, I don't think he still becomes a pay-per-view star. Not to the level of Canelo. He would never become
sensational doing it.
Sorry, what was that?
If you look sensational, if Crawford looks outstanding in beating Pacquiao, you don't think that he would become the pay-per-view king with all the talent in that weight class?
Look, unfortunately, being a pay-per-view draw does not only equal being sensational in the ring. It means being sensational outside the ring in some sort of fashion. It does. And is Crawford sensational outside the ring? I would say no. Love the guy to death. I think he's pound for pound maybe the best technical boxer we have right now, but he's not sensational outside the ring. He's one of the worst interviews in the sport. These are just facts. Terrence Crawford is sensational inside the ring, and I think he will look sensational in Pacquiao, but that does not make him a star, unfortunately. Some guys are not made to be stars. Star power could be.
The other thing, Shane Mosley Jr. is fighting on this undercard, and that fight going to be televised?
No idea. Should be.
No. The right answer was
Yeah,
no. Not no idea. No way.
No.
Michael Collin would be televised above.
That's an LA guy. Have you gotten to see much of him yet?
Yeah.
Mosley Jr.?
I seen the fight that he lost, unfortunately. But Gary, thank you for calling in. It's interesting. I kind of wrote him off, to be honest with you, after that loss. So we got to see where his progress is at, Gary. I'm not even going to front. Let's see the 619 first-time caller. Who's this? 619 first-time calling in.
What's up? This is Young Pat the Poet. My second time calling.
Where you calling in from?
San Diego.
And you said
619.
You said Young Cat the Poet?
Young Pat.
Oh, Young Pat. Young
P-A-T.
P-A-T. What's going on, brother? Talk to us.
Hey, what's up? Just want to say what's up to what's up to you and Matt. You guys I love the show. Pacquiao and Horn. I mean, it's always a good thing Pacquiao fights. It's always a good thing. It's exciting. Even for the casuals, they see him fight and they're like, oh shit. So it's not about Pacquiao if he's gonna like step it up. It's about like if the other dude could compete to him. You know what I mean? So I mean, besides Mayweather, Pacquiao's like, I think he's the best. So let me see. What else you guys talking about here?
Conor McGregor sparring Paulie Malignaggi. Andre Ward possibly working out a deal to fight Tony Bellew. Kell Brook thinking about a possible fight with Cotto.
Yeah, you know what? I think McGregor, he needs all the help he could get as far as his boxing match. I mean, we all know it's just a circus that we're just gonna watch because I want to watch it. And I think the reason why he's gonna do so many sales is because people want to see if Mayweather could get knocked out. So if there's that chance, they want to see him lose. I mean that's what it is and shit. So, before I leave, one thing my boy Unique said is that Lomachenko's a quarter Filipino. So I don't know about that, but we'll see. I'm out.
Young Pat the Poet, thanks for calling in, my friend. We're going out to Class Inbound in Texas. Talk to us.
Yo. Hey, what's up?
What's up?
So Pacquiao Horn, right? So first of all, there's a lot of topics I haven't called in for a bit, so I'm going to try to get through them as fast as possible. So first of all, Pacquiao Horn. It'll be entertaining. It'll be good. It's free. I mean, I'm not complaining too much. The Terrence Crawford fight, I definitely think is in the horizon for sure.
Class and bound. Oh man.
What?
Never mind. I'm sorry. Sorry. Total mistake. Sorry.
Oh. All right. So yeah, Pacquiao Horn, that'll be good. Pacquiao by decision. It'll be entertaining as long as it lasts. Gerald Washington and Big Baby Miller. I like that fight. I think that'll be really good to give Miller an opportunity to get some shine. Also, the talk with Lomachenko and Rigondeaux. I would like to see Loma fight Rigo at 130. I heard that they're offering $500,000. I think if that's true, I think Rigo needs to take that because he's not going to get another opportunity, and he needs to take the chances while he has them. And real quickly, I have a question for you guys. What would be the difference what is the difference between Dominic Breazeale and Dylan White? Are they both around the same level or not? And that's all I've got for you guys.
Class and bound. Thanks for calling in, brother. Sorry to interrupt you, man. I went through one of my episodes there. Let me get out to Australia. Another guy out there with Pacquiao Horn. TBV Alumni.
No one can stop me, really. Oh, there's a king croc right there. This croc has enough power in its jaws to whip my ass right off.
You gotta be the legend to become a legend.
Honestly, these are unbeatable.
You gotta be the legend to become a legend.
TBV fam, what's going on? Great episode, boys. Look, I just touched down in Brisbane now. I'm ready to watch Pacquiao Horn front row. You know how it is. Got to live it up. I just got one question for everyone. When Pacquiao gets knocked out by Horn, are we going to start using that? Like, everyone's picking Pacquiao, obviously. Are we going to start using those excuses? You know, like, oh, he's done now. He's done. You guys are picking Pacquiao. I don't want no excuses because I'm picking Horn, boys. That's it. That's the way we roll. But yeah, that's my. You know, it's obviously not my brain's picking. My brain's picking Pacquiao, but my heart's too big, you know. But to touch down on these other topics, Matt, I've actually got a question for you. If Andre Ward moves up to cruiserweight and fights Bellew at cruiserweight, and then he decides to stay at cruiserweight, who would you pick in a fight potentially between him and Usyk?
Usyk. I may pick Bellew over Andre Ward, to be completely honest.
Really?
I don't think Andre Ward has the style to move up to cruiserweight or heavyweight. He's not a Roy Jones. He does not have that power. He does not have that athleticism. Sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah, so I'll just wrap this up quick. Thanks for everything, boys. Thanks for the show. Oh, and if Lomachenko does fight Rigondeaux, as everyone knows, these are my two favorite boxers probably of all time. So this is just an absolutely mouth-watering clash. And if it does happen, Ness, that is definitely TBV appreciation night worthy. That should bring attention from everywhere. But that's my call, boys. Thanks for everything, and we'll stay in touch.
All right, Alex. What's the location he's saying for appreciation night?
Not the location. He's saying the fight. If they make Rigo Lomachenko, that fight is appreciation night worthy.
Yeah, we're gonna appreciate the fact that boxing gods gave us NyQuil.
Oh, hold on.
Just joking. Rigo Lomachenko's no. Rigo Lomachenko is like pay-per-view $100, yo. Straight up. I'm putting it out there. We should pay $100 for that. Big brother Doomsday, talk to me.
Hey, shout out to the Boxing Voice TV. TVZ equals TVE. I appreciate y'all. Great interview today. So shout out to Masterpiece for making that happen as always. I don't know, man. There's a lot on the docket today. I saw I was so happy to hear the Lions only coming to the Barclay. I think that's so big. They're getting so big right now, and the world's gonna have to recognize the Lions are in the building. I'm actually just text my pops to go make sure we can get tickets to see that. Broner versus Mikey Garcia was honestly close enough to being enough to go see that, but putting them on there is over the top. So definitely trying to get in attendance for that. This fight this weekend, Pacquiao, of course. Dream scenario. Terrence Crawford taking over from having that fight with him after that. That would be a dream scenario. I don't know if he'll let it happen. But I definitely got to give. I always bash. Not Al Heyman. What? Ness, what's the promoter of Pacquiao again?
Bob Arum.
I always bash Bob Arum on this show. Every time I get on, I try to bash him because I don't like him. But I have to give him. I'll eat crow on this one. I feel like what he's done with ESPN is definitely phenomenal and moving the culture forward. Boxing is getting so big, and he's taking it to another level by getting it on ESPN in such a big stage. And I think that having Max and Stephen A. comment on it, I feel like it definitely is great for, boxing culture, our culture. So, I have to give him a shout out and some love for that. What I forgot, just not too much, man. Robert Easter Jr. Really want to see him fight. He's always alongside Corona, so I want to see him do his thing. J-Rock coming back, after that loss we saw. I think that's big. Great summer, man. Great summer. Can't wait. We talk about Mayweather, Conor McGregor later. Hedge them bets, man. 7-1 is good money. Either way, you know what I mean? If you can get 1-1 on Mayweather, take it every time. But take that 7-1 money, put some money down just in case. Of course. But I mean, that was it, man. Love the show as always, man. Gunshots to TBV for producing great content. And thanks for a great show. Appreciate y'all.
All right, big brother Noomsy, thank you for calling in. Always good to check in. Tone from Chicago, man. Tone, I'm sorry we left you the last time on hold. I can't believe we didn't get to you. Double time today, Tone. Get it all off your chest.
I appreciate it, man. I don't think I'll need too much time, but wanted to get in my pick for Pacquiao and Horn. I definitely think Pacquiao's going to dominate. I think it'll be one-sided, man. I think he might get a stoppage in this fight. I know he hasn't had a knockout in a while, but I think Manny's going to look impressive, sharp, and I'm thinking he might even call out Mayweather, man. He might just take the time and call him out for the hell of it. We'll see. And that'll lead me into the Mayweather topic. Mayweather-McGregor. I kind of like the fact that McGregor's seeking some help from a sparring partner like Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie's a good TV analyst, so maybe he'll give McGregor a few pointers, but he's going to need that and a lot more to get through Mayweather. So it's not going to help much, but it's still good that he's showing the effort. It's good of McGregor that he's, passionate enough and really trying, I guess, to get as much training and knowledge of the sport. So that's good to see, but again, it's not going to help him too much. As far as Andre Ward and Tony Bellew, I think Ward should go ahead and do it, man. He's daring to be great. He's mentioned Roy Jones a lot, so Roy Jones is obviously somebody he looks up to. He looks up to what Roy did when he went up to heavyweight and beat Johnny Ruiz. Only this will be a cruiserweight. But I think he can do it. I think he might even beat Tony Bellew. But you can't blame the guy for daring to be great, and he wants to go down in the history books as one of the best. So he's on his way there. Other than that, what else? So we got Kell Brook and Miguel Cotto. I would like that fight. Why not? It's a good fight for both guys, assuming Cotto gets by Comic Guy in August. I think that'll be a good big fight for both guys. One last big payday for Cotto. And maybe a bounce back for Kell Brook. We'll see. But it'll definitely test both guys. And it's a good time in both guys' careers to be facing each other. With that, I'm out, guys. I appreciate the show. Thanks for the time.
Tone, thank you for calling in. Matt.
Yes.
What up?
Final thoughts. Time to wrap it up. Time to go to TBV Overtime because Tone was our last call. And if you do not know what TBV Overtime is, it is the after party show of every flagship edition of TBV. Go to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice, and you can catch us talk all sorts of topics from pop culture, world news, music, movies, everything involving the world is discussed on overtime.
I got some topics that I need to talk about this week, bro.
Okay.
I do.
I don't know what they are, so I'm excited to hear what they are and have that breaking news of topics be put on me live on TBV Overtime. But final thoughts on the overall show or in the topics of the show today. Manny Pacquiao on ESPN. I love it. I do. I'll be honest. I don't love the fight, but I love that Manny Pacquiao's on ESPN. I love that we have one of the best fighters of all time. And when I say that, I mean he's top 50, maybe top 30. I don't know where you want to put him in the pantheon of fighters and boxers. But he's up there. He's somebody that we're going to talk about forever. The stuff that he's done in his generation is only matched by Mayweather. And is only beat by Mayweather. And that is no knock on Pacquiao. Pacquiao was leagues above everyone else in his generation other than Mayweather. And now he's fighting on ESPN. That's amazing. I love that. I wish Mayweather would have fought Berto on CBS. That would have made a lot more sense for that fight. That would have been huge in the moment. Again, I think Pacquiao's probably going to win. I think he's probably going to knock him out. Maybe like the 8th round or so, maybe 8th to 10th round. Though Pacquiao's not really a knockout artist, he's not seeking the knockout anymore in his career. He is still one of the best boxers and counter punchers in the game. So I think he's going to win easily. Conor McGregor seeking out Paulie Malignaggi. I love it. I think it's another build-up hype thing for the future fight of Mayweather versus McGregor. Then we obviously have Tony Bellew calling out Andre Ward. Again, I don't like it. I think Andre Ward should stick at light heavyweight and further add to his Hall of Fame legacy. And shout out to Kell Brook. You know, you've taken a beating in your career. I hope you get the Cotto fight because it's going to be some good money for you. And it's a legit fight. And shout out to the Charlos, you know, for moving on and getting big fights in their career on big cards. Jamal Charlo getting that fight on the Adrian Broner Mikey fight is big. That's a great exposure for him. I think it's the perfect setting. Brooklyn with Broner, and you add Jamal Charlo in there. I think it's a great mix. So can't wait. Can't wait for this weekend's fight. Shout out to Robert Easter Jr., possibly the greatest lightweight on the planet right now. And you can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, and my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. Peace.
And I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. My final thoughts, pretty much the same as my co-host here, man. You know, when this was all talked about in the beginning, I obviously was not happy. We want the best, fighting the best. But looking at it now, things worked out for us as fight fans. You know, Top Rank has this deal. You know, Pacquiao's on free TV, possibly to rebuild those pay-per-view numbers that have fallen, you know, put them out there to a bigger market. A lot of great news. I can't disagree with anyone. I think that the McGregor looking to get Malignaggi could only be a good thing. Unlike my co-host, Ward trying to fight Bellew could only be a good thing. And for Kell Brook, I wonder, I mean, Cotto still knocked out Gil. What would Cotto do to Kell Brook's now severely damaged face on both sides? It's like, is he going to be able to hold up? But like my co-host said, Matt, the hipster, join us on Overtime for episode 10 because it's going down. A lot to talk about. It is episode 10 already, and there's a lot to talk about. And the thing is this, Matt leaves basically tonight, early in the morning, and that's it. It's going to be, you know, Matt in the East Coast for about another month. I mean, from Newark, New Jersey to Florida to Border Wars to creating. Anyway, we'll save the creating the bacon for another time. But yeah, check us out. 5-star review on iTunes if you have time. You know we truly appreciate that. Always. Peace.
Peace.